Okay, guys, so this is a video kind of explaining how to set up your travel poster. Here's an example travel poster. This is one of Mr. Kessler's travel posters. And as you can see, what we're trying to do is combine some various different image resources together to create a new, unique travel poster. So something, something that isn't just like copying one picture. You want to try to show like some of the coolest different aspects of your location. And so some of the requirements, you've got 3 different images. You've got foreground, kind of like a middle ground area here with the mountains. A lot of times you think of mountains as background. So maybe this is more of the background, sky, mountains, foreground, middle ground, the trees, the forest in here. This is real simple. We're not asking you, for this really, really complex painting. Graphic designs really should be kind of simple. You don't want to overwhelm the viewer with too much detail. So, and then of course you have to have your title, your location, nice big font that really stands out. And then one other thing I've asked you to do is have like some kind of slogan or catchphrase. You want to keep that short. Some of the slogans you guys had sent were like 20 words. It needs to be pretty short, like maybe like 5, 6, 7 words if you can keep it as short as possible. This border looks really, really awesome, so you can always come up with a cool border to frame your picture. And this one's been cut out to make it even more unique and interesting, so that looks really awesome. All right, so showing you how to put one of these together. We're using this 12 by 18-inch paper, but you may be in a situation where you're not able to get 12 by 18-inch paper. So a lot of you guys may have some kind of standard sketchbook paper like the 9 by 12 or like 8.5 by 11. Really, whatever kind of paper is fine. I really would prefer you not to use lined paper for this, but like if that's all you have, then I guess that's what you got to use. But I mean, if you need paper, I can get you some, but you'd have to get to school to get it. So, all right. I am doing an example on this town called Alto Pass, Illinois. So it's, kind of famous for its bald knob. It's got a big cross called the Bald Knob Cross, and it's a scenic little town here in southern Illinois. And what I'm interested in is they have a gravel road bike race every year that I help put on. So I thought this would be kind of a cool project for me to do. So I've printed out the images. I know most of you guys aren't going to have color printer at home, so you may not be able to do that. You can do the images just fine if you can get them on a screen. You can get them on your Chromebook screen and trace them. So you need to think about images that are going to work for like your foreground, your middle ground, your background. So for me, the bike rider is the foreground. So he's the guy that's going to be up close. And then also this sign is going to be kind of like foreground. And then middle ground is going to be this sort of like their little business strip here. So you can almost kind of just take your pictures and sort of piece it together and say like this guy's going to be about here. This is going to be about here, and then up above all this will be, instead of sky, will be that bald knob cross and then the sunset. So you can kind of like piece together how you're going to put your images together, just kind of like in your mind, or you could sketch them out. Like if we, if you took the time to do like a little practice sketch, thumbnail sketch, that would be a great idea. All right, so once you've got it figured out where things are going to be, then we start tracing. And since this is a graphic design, 2D design project, it's not about how good you are at drawing, it's about tracing. So I can see this image just fine to trace it. I'm not going to make a video where I do the entire thing and you have to sit and watch me try to trace this image. But I'm just going to kind of show you. Now you could, if I wanted to maybe get this a little bigger, if you're doing this on your screen, you can enlarge it a little bit so that it fills up a little more space. And I might do something like this. And there we go. So it's really important before you start tracing things that you have a pretty good idea where they're going to be. So like, I don't want to start tracing this town up here and then think all of a sudden, oh no, I wanted the town to be here. So really, before you start tracing, kind of look at everything really good, make sure that it's all going to fit on your paper, sort of where you have it. and you're happy with the placement. And then you can start tracing. So when you guys do the tracing here, graphic design project, like I said earlier, you may not want to overwhelm people with detail. Like you don't want to have so much detail that it gets confusing. So you want to kind of look at things and simplify them down a little bit, look at what's important, and get the important things, you know, like signs, tell people where they're going, stuff like that. But don't think it needs to be overwhelming with the details. You know, you can just start sketching things on. Before you go about sketching out, tracing out the entire thing, you might just trace out just like some of it, just kind of like figure out where it's going to be, because also you don't want to spend a lot of time tracing something if it's going to be overlapped by something else. You know, overlapping is part of this. You definitely want to overlap some stuff. So like this bike rider, he's going to probably go about here. So, you know, and again, guys, it's not like you're trying to build a realistic scene. Like I know the bike rider is in a totally different place. And that's fine because this is, you know, it's a 2D design poster. It's not like you're trying to create like a new scene. You're trying to create like just the best parts of the image. All right, so there's my bike rider guy. He's probably going to be about here. So a couple tips here, a couple things to avoid. Do not put anything really important right on the edge of your paper. So like if you put this guy down here on the edge, that's way too, you know, way too close to the edge. All of your elements, you need to leave some space for padding, just like a little bit of space so that your, you know, anything close to the edge, it just draws people's attention off the page. It's not good. So you want things to kind of have at least probably about an inch or so, anything important. So like the bottom of his wheels are fine. They can run off the page, but like his head or, you know, most of him and the bike, I don't want to put too close to the edge. So probably like right about here would be perfect. So I'll just kind of lightly just sort of sketch where he's going to be at, get his arms. I'm not going to put a lot of the detail into it right now because at this point, I'm really mostly just focused on figuring out where things are going to be. Okay, there we go. So, yep, that's looking pretty good there. This sign, I'll probably put it over here somewhere, maybe up a little bit higher, maybe a little smaller than this. So on my screen here, when I open it up on my screen, it should be smaller. Yep, that's more like what I was wanting. And maybe right about here, kind of overlapped over the top, have the poke kind of running off this page, and then I'll have the top part here. Probably have to blow it up a little bigger. Have the top part here, maybe up in the sky like that. Don't forget, you got to leave room for your title. So your title can be wherever you think it needs to be on the page. And for me, I definitely like the idea of having it up in the sky. And if you have sky, that's going to probably be the best place because it'll show up really good there. You don't want your title to kind of like cover up a bunch of details or something. So always kind of plan out, when you're putting this together, plan out some empty space for your title and for your motto. Your motto could be somewhere else. Like if the title's here, my catchphrase, slogan, it could be down here at the bottom. All right?